to welcome the second team of today's hackathon, Team CDMP. Welcome to the stage.
Good afternoon, good morning. We are Team CDMP and will now present to you API User Activity Analytics. So first, the problems we have. We deployed a new feature. How do we know if our customers actually use it? Second, we have limited resources, but also tons of backlog items. Where do we put our focus? Is it possible to lessen the stress levels on our dev team and make our customers happy at the same time? Third, some of our customers are quiet. Are they still using our app? If so, we can talk to our customers to prevent them from leaving. So fortunately, we have solutions. So we have an API. It will record user activities in applications. And then the API will also retrieve datasets for user analytics dashboard. We have a proof of concept. We will demonstrate later how to use the API in the CargoSpot Neo app. And we have a dashboard. The dashboard will display user analytics in real time. So we will have an admin view to present all customers using the app, and a customer view for a specific customer. User feedback form will also be available in the dashboard. So this is the total package for customer intimacy. This is how we'll implement things. This is the architecture diagram. CargoSpot Neo will connect to the API to record user activities. Then API will store these activities in the database. Analytics dashboard will retrieve the datasets from the API for the visual graphs.
Our solution will have an exciting visualization of how our customers interact within our application. Armed with user data from the user activity API, we'll be able to analyze features that are mostly used by our users and also know which customers are using our application the most. Currently, we don't have an existing user activity analytics. Our solution API can be used to generate customizable graphs using visualization option. The solution is also highly adaptable. As an API, it can be used for any application, even for the applications that will be developed in the future. We also face a lot of challenges in implementing this solution. Being unfamiliar with CargoSpot Neo, we requested a demo to get to know the application. It is also our first time joining the hackathon and using the tools such as Figma and Cumul.io. We were able to collaborate effectively to make this application a success. Next slide, please. Our solution offers 4 major benefits. We'll be able to focus our development efforts based on the actual user activity we collected. We can focus more on our highly engaged customers and determine their needs. We can also provide proactive intervention when we detect a decline in engagement from our customers. Based on their application usage, we can determine their preferences and pain points. We can also identify performance issues, bottlenecks, or areas where users are having difficulties using the application and find ways to optimize our application's performance. With that, let's take a closer look with the demo.
Now let's go to our Teams Envision dashboard. What you can see in my screen is the dashboard in the customer's point of view. We have some stats and charts shown here. The stats include total usage, total number of users, and total number of active users. And for the charts, we have a heat map, which indicates users per area, and a line graph, which indicates data usage, which can be toggled from daily and monthly. And these 2 graphs are beneficial to show focus on the customers. Next, we have the usage per module and stations pie charts to show where to focus our efforts. Next, we have the management view, whose only difference with the customer view is the client pie chart as shown here. And in addition to both views and charts and also the stats, we also have the feedback form shown here, which is used in collecting client opinions and gives an idea on how to improve the dashboard or application. That is all for our Envision dashboard. Let us now move on to the Cumul.io to be presented by Erwin.
All right. For the Envision Cumul.io dashboard for Champ, here we see the customer-specific dashboard. At the top, we will be able to see the activity-focused graphs, so we can see the login rates. Here at the side are the charts focused on what exact activities the users are doing. Here is what stations CX is currently using. And over here is what modules they are currently using. And then we can also drill that down to more specific topics. And over here is a heat map for where the users are using the application. We can get creative with this depending on the data we have. Next is a more overall analytics dashboard where we can compare the data between clients. Over here is we have CX and JL activities graphs. But this dashboard is more useful for graphs like the module usage over here, where we can compare what each client module is using. Over here is the exact same heat map, user heat map. And for here, we have flight origins and flight destinations in the last 24 hours. And over here, in the side is their pie chart representatives. Next up is the API demo from Jason.
Okay, so from the dashboards, we can really show exciting visuals from your PC or laptop, and then can also go mobile for tablets and mobile phones. But the question now is, where will all this data come from? And I'll discuss that to you. We'll use the user activity API. Here you can insert activities using the post endpoint. You'll provide the application name, the user ID, customer, the feature group, for example, booking, and then some details like URL details and the creation date. And after all the activities, we also provide endpoints for reports. You can get the activities by application name, providing the application name, give activities by application name and customer for specific customers. And then for the dashboards, it can get the data. For example, it can get count by customer, providing the application name, get count by feature. So
Team, you now have 2 minutes left
name.
of your pitch. You now have 2 minutes left of your pitch.
And we can also get the count of activities for today. And can also have the count of activities. So provide the application name. So if you want 7 days, you just put 7 in the day. So you have daily activities for a week, or 30 if you want the daily activities for a month. So here I'm showing you the API presenting all the endpoints that I've discussed. And we have connected this into a database using these properties. And you can see here that the API is already running on the background. So I will show to you, we have hacked this hackathon will not be complete if we not hack the actual CargoSpot Neo applications. I'll provide the origin and destination and click search. And this user activity will be captured by the API, as you can see here. So I use the CargoSpot Neo using the codes feature and the details that provided in the search parameter, the LAX station and the LAX. So with this API, we can also provide the count per feature. So we will know which features are mostly used in the application. So in this example, we have the quotes, access 68 times, and the booking twice, and also the customer. So here, the cargo spot customer 68, the Fragile 2, and all the other customers using the activities can be shown here. So that will be possible using the API, all the dashboards that we can use. And that's all for our demo. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Team CDMP. That's an excellent idea. We've seen two wonderful ideas already this morning, so I'm very excited to see what comes next. We will now be handing over to our judges to start the 5 minutes of Q&A session. Lucas, would you like to begin? Do you have a question?
Yes. I have plenty of questions. I will go fast. We just have 5 minutes. I will go through one of the standard function in analytics is to be able also to capture information about the user using the app, for example, the size of the display, the operating system, the type of browser. Is it something that you are also capturing or that could be added to your platform?
For now, we have not included that. We focused on the actual user activity, but we can expand the API to also capture all this information and record them in the database for future use. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question as well, which is more about we want to use something like that to explore how user use the application. Yeah, also the usage analysis of the different features, which feature is used, which feature is not used, because sometimes we develop the feature and we have no clue how much that particular feature is used. Yeah, so we need to really go to the granularity of that. And B, for example, when you make a booking, even when you would make a booking in CargoSpot or Neo, there could be various ways to make a booking. So you could actually go to availability and select the flight and make a booking, or you can fill the booking screen, make a booking. And we don't know what most of our users use. So it would be really, do you think we can go to that level where we can even drill down inside the feature that how a particular feature is used by a user if there are multiple ways to use it?
Yes, actually, that's at the very heart of the user analytics that we want to achieve. So it can go into the details, which URL, so which page they're using. So we can record that, and also the details, so we can provide all the details. So all this information will be recorded in the API. And in the future, we can also use navigation graphs, so we can trace what the user actually did with the application. So it will be interesting to see because it will be recorded in the user activities.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Very good.
Could I ask a question? I think I really like the concept of what you've got there, because as everybody's communicated very well, it's a real challenge understanding what we have and what people are using. But I see we've focused obviously on CargoSpot Neo here, but I really like just the API concept of it that you have here, because what I would like to even broaden it outside of that and put it into all of the Champ's application portfolio, just calling simply that API, so that we have one common thing for all of our applications that actually, we all post into, and we have one dashboard that we can go to. We don't just see CargoSpot Neo, we see TGC, TGS, and everything in there. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we put there the application name, so it can be applied for any application, and it's an API, so any application can use the API.
And even to be honest, the concept of it is, to think through the idea of potentially of just exposing outside of Champ from a more generic industry perspective. Okay, it's a focus on Champ, but most of those things like booking or whatever are generic industry things. So it's a potential way of linking up to consolidate industry information for customers as well. And we can see we have 4 or 5 different applications that allow us to make bookings at the moment, and then there are also the portals. Maybe we can work with the portals and ask them to provider's information as well, just plugging the API in. So a real opportunity to get some, not just focused information for customers, but or for Champ, but also for customers on how the applications are being used. So yeah, really good. Thanks.
Quick question, if I still have time. What kind of approach did you use for that API? So it's kind of is it a push coming from the application calling out the common API, or a listener, like a pull or listening events listening?
Currently, it's a push. So what I demoed, the Cargo Spot Neo, after it detects the activity, it will push the activity. But if you will notice the endpoint, it's an array or a list of user activities. So if you don't want that, you can have, for example, a log file, and we can extract from the log file and push all the activities coming from that. So it's very flexible. So.
Right, great.